This video starts to look at some of the more controversial informal powers that presidents have used. Again, these are not in the Constitution, and presidents just kind of have done these throughout American history. Modern day presidents tend to use these more than some of their predecessors, and people accuse these types of informal powers as kind of like stealing powers away from the other branches. So the first one we're going to look at is what's called executive orders. Executive orders are like presidential orders or decrees that kind of have the force of law. So it's like the president making an announcement, and that announcement sort of becomes like a law. The frustrating thing about this, and why people get upset about presidents when they use executive orders, is because they look at Congress as being the organization that's supposed to make laws. And when the president starts making like statements or decrees that are kind of like laws, it's kind of like the president's taking the power away from Congress in terms of what it's supposed to do, and it's kind of like jumping into their territory. So some like famous examples of executive orders, like President Truman, because Congress was unwilling to pass a law that desegregated the military and moved away from separate white and African American units, he passed an executive order that accomplished this himself. Like from his standpoint, if Congress wasn't willing to do this, he was going to establish an executive order that did it. Also, President Trump with the wall. One of the promises that when President Trump came to office was that he was going to establish a wall along the border with Mexico. When he came into office, he realized there was not enough support within Congress to pass a law that would create a wall. So he established this through a direct executive order. So again, Congress becomes very frustrated when presidents use executive orders because again, they kind of look at it like you don't have the power to make laws, we do, and you're kind of stealing something that belongs to us. If you just look at the number of executive orders that presidents have used, you can kind of see the total amount during their presidency and how much they average during each year they're in office. Modern day presidents, and obviously Biden's not even through one full term, modern day presidents tend to use executive orders more because Congress is so divided that they don't really pass a whole lot of laws anymore. So, because of that, presidents run on a number of promises and they get very frustrated that Congress is not willing to help them fulfill these promises. So, they begin to establish these policies through direct executive orders. And again, that often frustrates Congress because they look at that as their responsibility to pass laws, not the president.